Hey, welcome back to the next video in the series. So now we've got pretty much all of the riverbed done. Now we have to darken up the bed where the water is going to be deeper. And what I've decided, I'm going to try this. I've never done it before, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to use an airbrush, and I'm going to take a brown paint. It's very watered down, and we're just going to lightly darken a path where the water would be going to. And then once that's done, I'm going to come back with a gray, and we're going to do these banks here. We're going to gray them out just a little bit so they more match this stuff. Okay. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. Start on a piece of paper here. Just a little light, just a light brown like that. That's all we're gonna do. But what I want to do before I do that is I want to cover up some of the rocks because I don't want it going everywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this up, but I'm not going all the way to the base because the rocks would be kind of wet. And when they're wet, they're darker. So we're going to do it like this. We just want to keep the paint out from the higher sections of the rock. And then I just want to take a couple more pieces, and we're just going to cover over the tops of the other rocks in the stream itself. So the actual path of the water is out here. This is the deeper of the water. And it's going to come down through here like this. Okay, so now that actually doesn't look too bad. I don't know if you can see it, but in here the sand actually changed color from the glue a little bit, so I want to even that out some. Like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think this will work for us. Okay, so you can kind of see the path of the water now. So that should define the path of the water fairly well. Alright, so now we'll come down to this side. Okay, so let's do this side the same. Oh, first we gotta tape off. Let's tape off our rocks. Don't forget that, because I'll be the one who forgets, and then I paint them all brown. Alright, then that should do it. So that's what we end up with. Now I'm going to mix some gray for the brush, and then we're going to go through and do the banks, and we'll gray them down a little bit with the same watered down paint. Okay, so now we're back, and now we're going to start painting the rocky areas on along the banks. So now what I'm doing is I'm not bringing it, kind of blending it into the deep. Okay, then we'll call that side kind of done. And we'll come down to this other side. Okay, now we're back, and all this paint that we airbrushed earlier is dry. So now we're gonna dry brush the beach areas, these rock areas here, just like we did the larger rocks. We're gonna dry brush those with white. Take a little bit of white. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put a little paint on the brush like this. We're going to wipe most of it off. And then we just go back through. I'm just going to lightly brush over the tops of all the... And that's going to bring out the highlights of what's there. We can redo some of these other rocks as well. And I may hit a few of the higher rocks that are in the water path, just to kind of take the edge off the color that's there. You still want them to match what, even though they're not all the same color, they still have to somewhat match the area. But I'm not hitting the whole thing, I'm only hitting the pieces that are the high spots. This looks like done. I don't want to go too far with it because then, we're just going to overdo and it's not going to look right. So that's it. there we go. It just accentuates it just a little bit, makes it look a little more, just stands out a little more. Okay, so now we're back. Now we're going to start laying in this stuff here that I was showing you. So what we're going to do is I mess with this a little bit before I came on here to say how I'm going to do it. I have this canopy glue. I like this stuff. I just started using it. I use it mostly for windows in buildings because it dries clear, it doesn't fog the glass. But I'm going to try this with this. Put a little bit here. Just a little bit like that. We're going to spread that out a little bit. Now, I'm going to take a pile of this, like this, and I want it uneven. I don't want it perfectly all the same height. So what I'm going to do, is we're going to do that. Yeah. So that's what we're looking for. Now I'm not going to touch that again. We're going to let that dry, and then I'm going to vacuum out whatever's loose. And that's it. That's how we're going to leave it. Now we're going to put those in some more spots around along the banks of the river. So the next Now this section here, I left this without rocks on purpose because I want to put this same stuff all the way down this bank here between these rocks. I want to cover that whole thing. Don't want to overdo this stuff, but I think that's pretty good. And then what we'll do when this all dries up is we'll come back and we'll kind of trim and prune them a little bit so that they're not too big. But right now let's go over to the other side. Okay, I think we're going to call it done for that. I don't want to overdo it. So well, as I'm looking at it, maybe we'll put some right up here. Small patch right here. All right, and we'll come back in a little while, and when this is dry, and then we can start really prepping for the epoxy to go down into the water. Until then, we'll see you later.